Hello, Natasha.
Hey, Paul.
This is Paul Palmer and
And Natasha Todorovic-Cowan. And Paul, you've got a shark fin on your head.
you know, he's he's my goldfish.
I, I think we've got a theme going for this week.
Yeah, he's a he's pretending to be something that he isn't, I think.
Looks like it. He's so cute. And it's adorable when a goldfish pretends to be a shark, but not so adorable when bigger things count, right?
Yeah, there's plenty of other opportunities for people to do things right without um faking it until they make it.
Well, hopefully over this week, as people have been watching this, they're thinking twice about the fake it till you make it thing.
Yeah, hopefully. It's it's something that I've never agreed with. I've always I've always been risk averse, I think, because I started in originally in drug manufacture when I started my career, and I learned from being in microbiology the impact of just a small mistake, just not doing things properly. Why there's so much emphasis on getting it right, and I was involved in setting up supplier assurance system for subcontract manufacture. And what surprised me when I started in the role was the fact that they didn't have product specifications.
Wow.
They didn't have agreed specs between the supplier and the company I was working for. The the company had a spec that they were working to, and we had either had a license or authority to supply, but there was no keeping it right between the two. And
Well,
that's why they were
yeah.
getting things in, and it wasn't coming out right.
Yeah,
Um,
I think we have a world of pressures to do it faster, do it better, to take shortcuts, to make things work, never mind the restraints. And that sends us into some bad habits.
yeah, it does, but it's not an excuse for not doing your due diligence. What I don't get is why people have the mentality of not doing it properly.
You know that we when we talked about on our other conversation, you know, the what do you call the doctor at the bottom 10%? Well, you still call him doctor. That's an excuse for being sloppy. And just as we were setting up for this, we were talking about a TEDx talk that I listened to. The woman was bipolar,
Mhm.
and it had taken years to get the right meds, and then she moved states and saw a psychiatrist, and her meds had run out, and you know, she's bipolar, she's not accurately telling the psychiatrist what she's suffering, so she says, I'm suffering from anxiety. So she got anxiety meds. That caused her to lose her job, that caused her to have to move back in with her parents, and months of trying to get back on track.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, an interesting thought, because the the pharmaceutical industry has got such a wide range of products that have a massive benefit for the patients. Now, I'll give you an example of one. It's a psychology treatment. It's called clozapine. So this is for schizophrenics. Schizophrenics when they've everything else has failed. So you can imagine that they're the worst of the worst, and the behaviour is the worst. It makes me think of Hannibal on Hannibal Lecter. And
Okay, you've got some graphic imagery going on there, Paul.
okay, so imagine that sort of level of clinical diagnosis,
Right.
and you found a product that would treat them, right? But you don't place it on the market because the risk is too high.
Right.
And what do you think? What sort of side effect could make the risk too high to give to that bad a patient?
They die?
Yes. That's what that was why the company wouldn't place the product on the market, because one of the side effects was sudden death.
So we have a lot of drugs advertised in the US, as you probably are aware, where they have to go through the side effects. And as you go through the side effects, you're going, who would take that drug? Your head might explode. You might lose your arms and legs. And oh, yeah, there's the sudden death.
Yeah. Well, the thing about this one was, though, the company wouldn't market it because they said it was too high a risk.
Yeah.
But the government agency came to them and said, can you put it on the market, please?
Wow.
Because we have a problem which we don't have a cure for. And all we do is lock them up in a what do they call, a padded cell or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And with this product, what they said was, we want you to do it, but we want you to put these controls in place. So the company, being the experts in this product, set up all of the restrictions, all the controls, all the testing, the whole profile we needed for these patients, for them to actually live more of a normal life, because it kept the schizophrenia in control.
Right.
Now, they weren't faking it, so I think we've gone off topic.
I think we have, but what I think what you're saying is that that's the difference between doing it wrong and doing it right. And there are those who would have said, you know what, the government's making us do it, whatever. But there are those who would take that extra step to say, you know what, we need controls. These are the reasons and the ways and, you know, the container in which this could work. So I think, you know, it's just a very different mindset. It's a different ethics. It's really a different kind of moral compass.
Yeah. And I think that's really what we've been talking about this week is the morality, the ethics. And always do what's right. Do what's right for you, do what's right for the person that you're dealing with, and have a good life.
And do what's right for the future. I love it. We ended on a positive
note. Okay. Thank you, Natasha. That's Paul Palmer and
Natasha Todorovic-Cowan. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Natasha. Talk to you soon.